road. The prevalence of Venus figurines and other symbols of women across Europe convinced some, but not all scholars, the Paleolithic religious thought had strongly feminine dimensions, embodied in the great goddess and concerned with the regeneration and renewal of life. Was it possible there was a time when a goddess reigned supreme? There is some evidence that goddesses were honored above male gods. Think Ishtar. The most compelling part of this theory is our evolutionary ancestors' inability to perceive cause and effect, thereby their inability to understand birth. To them, living in this state, women were magical, capable of producing offspring out of nowhere. Every month, in sync with the moon cycle, women bled, and they didn't die. Women produced life-sustaining milk. This must have seemed wondrous, which it kind of is, of course. A similar tradition was evident when Sir Arthur Evans discovered the last Minoan civilization in the 20th century and believed the goddess figurines found represented the same Great Mother, worshipped under various names and titles. This great goddess was the creation mother and in full control of all other gods. The divine feminine is all over the early mythology stories, although she may not be all-powerful. Ishtar is considered the cosmic uterus. The Roman Mother Earth, Gaia, and the Norse Ymir emerged from the birth canal. In Egypt, the goddess Nut makes an even stronger claim for power in an engraving. I am what is, what will be, and what has been. No man has uncovered my nakedness, and the fruit of my birthing was the sun. Many scholars take issue with the theory that these goddesses ever doubled as a great goddess. Historian Cynthia Eller explained how attractive this theory was as a woman, and yet how improbable it actually is. She dismisses the theory as wishful fantasy of a utopia that never existed. Eller adds, the myth of matriarchal prehistory is not a feminist creation, in spite of the aggressively feminist spin it has carried over the past 25 years. If the myth now functions in the feminist way, its anti-feminist past can become a merely curious historical footnote. Those Venus figurines may have just been sex objects, so we don't want to assume they were goddesses people were worshiping. It could have been really intense patriarchy in action. Whether a great goddess ever existed or not, what all these stories tell us is how in so many ways human development was similar across the globe, and that at one point, feminine attributes were considered divine before they were replaced in most parts of the world by a single male god with male prophets or messengers. It also shows how important nature, procreation, and its mystery was to early people. By the end of this era, so much remained in question. Can we know for sure if there ever was a great goddess? How reliable are oral traditions, recorded centuries or millennia after they were first told, as evidence of prehistoric culture? What would happen to women as all-male gods and prophets took over around the world?